Hello and welcome. Trying out another league after seeing a pretty serious uptick, honestly, in the Heliod company scales deck. Decided to make a couple of changes, couple of these members to the sideboard, to help that match up a little bit. It was over a tracker and explosives from my previous list. The other change I made is I added a Celestial Sanctuary in place of the 4th turf, almost exclusively for Field of the Dead purposes. Minor upside with engineering explosives, but the big reason obviously being Field of the Dead. Obosh. This hand, there's no way it can ever beat any Obosh deck. This hand, this one can. Sweet. Okay, so we bottom the Redundant Pact, and then we have a turn 3 Titan. Like it. Then follow Pioneer, but thought you'd get a left. This PDQ weekend was won by an 80 card deck that forgot to put Yarn in the sideboard. That's funny. Oh, that's really funny. A PTQ even. Brutal. Magic is a game that rewards skill, etc., right? That's really funny. So I imagine that this is mono with Prowess. It could be. Actually, this was a mistake, right? Yeah, this was a mistake. I should have named Beast actually, because that means that if I naturally top deck a Grazer, I don't need to waste the pact for an Azusa, because I can just like play Grazer. But now I can't cast the Titan on 3 with Grazer, so a little bit of a misstep there. In fact, the more that I think about it, the more that I would like to actually pact for for a Grazer instead of an Azusa. I mean, we're not gonna get punished because my opponent just spent their entire turn to cast this Stomp, so that's a good thing for us. But definitely interesting, right? One of those very narrow scenarios that you don't see happening very often, but it could have been potentially the difference between winning or losing. Looks like it might not be, but still. Bounce this, haste prime time. Balagut battlements. Oh, boom. Haste, yes. And let's do. So if I go Field Forest, Field Breeding Pool, I get to make zombies here, but then this dies to double bolt. Does that matter? I kind of want. No, I guess the extra green source doesn't really matter. Like, we already have all the red, all the green that we want, and I'm not gonna be playing around main deck Blood Moon, so we're not doing that. Yeah, just do that. Now it doesn't matter. Like, we can make giant here. The important thing obviously is the Sombo. Alright, so this matchup is hella awkward because they have like 4 Blood Moons in the sideboard, so they kind of have us in a way. Like we are forced into bringing in really bad cards in the matchup because we can't really beat Blood Moon. They don't have. They have Obosh, so they just have Young Pyro, which is fine. We could bring in these members. It's a little bit sketch, but in this matchup, like taking 4 to kill a creature is definitely worth it because their creatures deal a lot more than 4 damage. We also have Baloth. I'm gonna go with this. 32 lands only. Not exciting. But I think I'd rather have Cavern as a painless source. Because the shock from the bolt, I mean, from the thing it's pretty relevant to this matchup specifically. So we're on the draw. Let's see what opponent does here. Because having access to Heath is kind of great. They move to 6. So we'd be able to Azusa on 3. I think I'm actually going to keep this hand. Like we're well insured against Blood Moon, which is kind of a big deal. And we also have Baloth. Yeah. I think I'm okay with this keep. I think I'm okay with this keep. The only awkward thing is that if we want to play around Moon, we're going to have to play this Heath on turn 3. On turn 2, sorry. Never mind. I guess I'm still going to be playing on turn 2. Yikes. That's very good. It's a very good start from OP. Very, very good start from OP. Don't Blood Moon me, bro. The good thing is that they are down to just a single card in hand. And this is like one of the reasons why I kept the hand, right? Like this hand actually has a shot against Blood Moon. Unlike very many other hands. That's a sick top deck, actually. Next turn, we get to Dryad plus Baloth. To Azusa plus Baloth to put multiple blockers into play. But this, I just care about the Dryad because it's a 2/4. We just might. Oof. Big oof. Collector oof, even. So the last card in hand is an Obosh. So the good thing is if I draw a Rex Sage. So the good thing is if I draw a Force. The good thing is if I draw a Force, we might actually be okay here. We can we? No, we can't really attack. Like the damage just doesn't really matter. So they play the Obosh, and if we find a force, we just win. So force of vigor is the win. Anything else kind of doesn't matter. Titan doesn't do anything. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, this is what I was saying about this matchup, right? Like, it's okay. Like, it's easy for us to beat them at the aggro plan if that's what we want to beat, and it's easy for us. And it's not easy. It's hard for us to beat their Blood Moon game plan as is, but like having to beat both at the same time, it's really tough to do. Oh wow! That's an answer to the Blood Moons. At the cost of my Dryad and Azusa. But it is an out to win this. It is an out to win this. Yeah, for sure. The only problem is that, oh man, yeah, this is rough. Like, we actually need to play out the Gruul Turf in order to have this be a thing. Red, blue, green. But now if we top deck a Titan, we have a very real shot at winning this game. There's also the fact that we are just dead, right? If they have a Lightning Bolt. They forgot that there's a Firebolt in their graveyard, because otherwise they would have probably cast it last turn. So it has to be that they just forgot about it. I would like to not crack this if I have the option, because it makes top decking Italeri West a better thing. But the good thing about playing it out and playing my lands is the fact that I can safely use this Dryad to just chump block now. Like, these are basically free chump blockers. And if my opponent doesn't attack and they don't like bolt me or something, we just get to untap. And it gives us, again, it gives us more good draws. There it is. It's going face. Okay. So we trade chump. These are the only blocks that work out for us, so. And now we just crack here. Sad face. So we lose to half of my opponent's decks, and now they have a redraw even. Yep, that counts. Rough. But up until that point, right? Like, we actually had a shot there. Same thing. Also, just realized that adding Bailots and Sage to my deck makes turn Timber slightly better, which is hilarious. In hindsight, you don't think that land was keepable? What would you have mulliganed into, Leviathan? There's not that much that we can mull into, right? What are we looking for if we mulligan that hand? In fact, the hand that I kept lined up very well against my opponents, right? The hand that I kept just lined up very well against what my opponent was doing, so... If anything, it feels like my keep was actually good. Let's do this now. It's painful, but... I wonder if we should have preemptively explosives turn 1 there. Turn for Bella was low enough to get to Obosh. What are we looking for? That is my point. Like, if we ship that hand, what are we looking for? Like, my opponent would have been able to Blood Moon me before I can do anything relevant. So at that point, I'm looking for a hand that, like, 6 cards just don't give me enough, right? Because at that point, I need an answer to the Blood Moons, a Titan, amulets, lands. It's just too many cards. It's just too many pieces, and I only have access to 6 cards, right? I'm gonna crack here to play around, line up the stage. Blowing up your amulet never feels great, but kind of is what it is. So now we're just looking for a Titan. Opponent very likely has a Blood Moon over there, because they didn't do anything on with 2 lands. Didn't even deploy another threat. So I have to expect that they have some number of moons over there. The good thing is that if we top deck a Titan, we're gonna be far ahead enough to stabilize. Okay, Titan here. Easy. Easy, chat. Play perfectly, get rewarded, never punish for anything. Opponents should play 30 lands in their deck, that way they're not going to be missing land drops as often. Field and Growth Chamber. Balanced Radiant Fountain. Some bows. See that? My opponent says they just died with 2 moons in hand, which is exactly what I said that was gonna happen, right? Boom. Let's still have all these, my opponent here. Let's get some basics. -15. Playing around live at the stage probably won us this game. It's likely. It is likely. I still think that matchup is bad for us. We did have access to a lot of top decks at that point, though. That's for sure. Like at that point, like a Dryad would have stabilized and stuff. So we had mana for Sage. Like just having access to one of your basic forests is just so important in that matchup. 2 even better because it allows you to pay Loth, obviously, but like you would need at least access to one basic forest for sure. For sure. My opponent's hand was a little bit clunky though. They kept a 2-lander with double Blood Moon. But you're playing like a 19 land deck or something, so like it's not rare for them to miss land drops. Okay. Can work with this hand. I can work with this hand. Isn't 34 lands too many? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's great. Especially when 3 of your lands can potentially be a Titan. Edo, thank you for the follow. GG's. GG's there. Update the record? I did. We're 1. We're 1-0. Sacred Foundry. Is this an Ahiri deck that's been popping up? $59 lands, 1 Titan of the Met allow it. Yeah. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah. So I'm just gonna play Azusa here. This might be a mistake, and maybe I should be setting up a Dryad here. But this guarantees Titan mana next turn, while Dryad doesn't, because I don't have 2 untap sources in hand. Don't get mana tithe. No, once my opponent played the forest, now I think they're in a different deck now. Probably as a Saheeli deck or whatever. Yeah, I have no idea what my opponent's up to. Like Sacred Foundry into Forest, but it's not just that. It's turn 1 tapped Sacred Foundry into turn 2 Forest go. Like that. That is not a sequence of turns that is particularly common in Modern. Ledambri's call. Oh, we're playing against Reclaimer. Okay, that still makes no sense. They should have mulliganed. Unless they have a nutso hand over there. My opponent is a person of culture, playing Springloom Druid in their Dryad decks, huh? think we're good here. And with 9 mana, I think we're covered. What am I eating here? I'm eating actually great pizza. There's this Italian place. There we go. See? Hell yeah. There's this Italian place very close to where I live that is very, very good. And they have this pizza that has a ton of gorgonzola cheese. There's two kinds of people. There's the people that cannot stand blue cheese, gorgonzola cheese, like Roquefort, all that stuff. And then there's the people like me who go nuts over it. And yeah. Yeah. So this one has a lot of this one is very, very good. Is this a good matchup or a bad matchup for Amulet? I think that if they're playing the Titan Vial version, it's a good matchup for Amulet, and if they're not playing the Titan Vial version, it's probably a little bit closer to slightly favored for the Green-White Reclaimer deck. But it depends a lot on the draws. Like my opponent went turn 1, do nothing, turn 2, do nothing, right? That's not a winning sequence, regardless of which deck you're playing. That is just not a sequence that allows you to win a match of Magic. 1, 2. Yes, yes, yes. Yep. Kind of people that say pizza with calorie and those who don't. Well, I mean, when I'm on stream, I really dislike when I'm on the computer or when I am like playing music, like be it drums, bass, like whatever. I cannot deal with the grease. So whenever I'm doing something like that. My opponent asks, why not just target me? And I'm like, yeah, just for the memes, don't worry about it. Just for the memes. You also won turn 1, turn 2, do nothing? Yeah, but I won. Play drums? Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I am a professional musician, actually. I wish I could stream full time, but that's just not something that's at my reach with 165 subs a month. It just doesn't add up. But yeah, obviously I haven't been playing shows, so I've been just focusing on the stream, obviously, because well, Corona is a thing. How much for a drum solo stream? Yeah, the only issue with doing like a drum stream is that I would need an infrastructure that I just don't have. What genre do I mostly play? I mean, what I play is different to what I like playing. Not necessarily. This hand's too slow, by the way. That's why I shipped it. Kind of the same with this one. If either of these had dryads, I would consider them, but they don't. And now we're just moving into Oblivion. Brutal. So bottom this, bottom this, bottom this. But yeah, usually I play in like cover bands and winning bands of different sorts and stuff like that. But the music that I play in my the music that I play in the in between rounds, it's always the music from bands that I've been in. What? Fetch for basic forest. Feel like we need one of those really silly setups that can front play Amulet by also playing the drums. Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen ever. People have played actually with a Guitar Hero controller, gotta figure out how to play MTGO with a drum set. Yeah, probably not, but it's a funny thought experiment. Man, Springworm Druid's so good! So good! So good. Really hoping for no Mind Sensor. Like, we probably cannot beat even Mind Sensor. We just legit can't beat it. Another Flagstones. So let's play Susa. Play this Stepped and play this Bounce Castle. This place around Ghost Quarter. Chris Disson, thank you for the follow. That's right, this was a move to 4. That's so sick. It was a freaking move to 4. That's so awesome. Like, I feel like we're actually very ahead here. I mean, not very, but like pretty ahead. Like, they apparition my Asusa, which is irrelevant, instead of apparition in this. I think I like the spot that we're in. So let's do this. Gives me Sombos to work with, and we can transmute next turn. What would they fetch? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Honestly, fetching doesn't make too much sense there. Or ramp, no pump, as Nimble would say. Nice. I mean, if they have a Titan, but it seems like they don't. We might get past, however. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're very likely getting past, yeah, on upkeep. It's okay. Just gonna transmute for another Summoner's Pact. If they have... I'm hoping for no Mind Sensor. We probably cannot beat even Mind Sensor unless we top deck exactly this member here. They have good choice in basics. I like this one. I don't think I like this one though. The problem is like you have access to like an OG art basic, snow cover basic. So like I don't know why you would want to play a new frame instead. Okay. Let's see if they have it. Okay, it seems like they don't have Mind Sensor. Interesting. I wonder why they would want to upgrade my... I wonder why they would want to upgrade my guy into a 3-3. And the reason why I did this is I didn't want to show my opponent that I had the Dryad in case they had a path to exile, so that would force them to pass the prime time. Priority number one is by far to make sure that this Dryad is dead, right? Like this Dryad is what I'm losing to. So the sequencing that I chose to go for is the one that kind of helped make sure that my Dryad can live. I guess that we can get boiled. If my opponent's playing boil, we might die here. Because we have a pack to pay for. They don't have it. Yeah. This is a nice plains too. I like that plains a lot. Oh yeah, even at that point, my opponent was in a situation where if I don't answer their Dryad, if they find a prime time, then we actually just lose. So that's why I was trying to like bait their path, because the Dryad was actually more valuable in that scenario than the Titan. And this hand is probably a keep. It's a little bit awkward because this interstabbed, but was the drawback to Bailov for life? Well, yeah, everybody's playing Scourge, right? Gaining 4 life is very good against the Scourge of the Skyclaves. Third forest is the Troopy Full Art OG Sendigar Forest. It's a pretty good one. I'm gonna counter my Grazer. Feel free to counter my Grazer. Just checking. Yeah, for sure. Questions are always welcome. What are we playing against? What does turn 1 Political Delta go, turn 2 Steambands Shock mean? Grixis Shadow? That's not Grixis Shadow. Is this Blue Moon? Because we can't beat Blue Moon with this hand. And they kept a card on top. Yeah, this is Blue Moon and we're just gonna lose. Delver? Nah, Delver's not a deck. This runs into Spell Snare, but like, what can I really do? I don't like the look of this at all. This Logic Knot. This is a very good exchange for us. Like super, super good exchange for us. Playing the land in case they just like tap out for whatever reason and we get to punish them. Oh, wow. Whoever said Delver, I was not expecting you to be right, but I guess that you were. Wait, what? Oh, they're gonna Sanctuary Charm back to hand. Okay. Play my Dryad. Remand. Mana Leak. Remand. Chief played it the other day. Yeah, I just don't think that Delver is a playable card. I'm just gonna jam into the Archmage's Charm because if they actually draw two, it's a lot worse than them trading for this. So let's play this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In a blue and Tron heavy meta, my FNM, would you choose Titan Vial or Wing White Toolbox decks you played? Probably Titan Vial against the blue decks. Remand. Just gonna die to this stupid Sprite Dragon. All of my lands enter tap too. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna die to Remand. We also died to Lightning Bolt. Still dead to Lightning Bolt. Still dead to Remand. Somehow that resolves. Okay, so we're gonna get Radiant Fountain and a bounce land. Just getting Sanctuary. And then land for turn is gonna be the Radiant Fountain. Gain 2 more life. Play a Susa. Play this. Bounce. Replay. Are we somehow in this game? How are we in this game? What's up, Ariole? How's it going? How are we in this game right now? Chat, explain. You know everything, chat. Tell me how are we in this game? Are we in this game? We're about to... Are we about to get vapor snagged? Is that what's gonna happen here? You know opponent IRL. Nice. E on 2, let's go. I'm just gonna pack for a Dryad. Just pew their dudes with Valakut. Pew this one, pew this one, pew this one. For a single blue mana, they can't answer my Titan. Force. Force on this pact is the only thing that would prevent my opponent from dying next turn, I think. They could also just tap out and make my life a lot easier. Come on, but just step out. Just step out. Tuto with a tier 1 sub. Hey, you suck. Fuck you, man. Play around Pongify. Well, that would be some next level move for my opponent right there. Pongify? Is that the world we live in where I need to play around Pongify? Backed in their turn. The problem is if I backed in their turn, I'm trying to play around Vapor Snag, they Vapor Snag my Titan and I can't recast it. So I actually couldn't pact in their turn, which is awkward. Yeah, I actually should have talked about that. I didn't mention that, but yeah, I should have 100% said why I didn't pact in their turn. Well, that's the reason. That is why I did not pact in their turn. Thank you for the question. You see, that's why I like chat asking questions, is because sometimes I'm just out here chilling, doing things that I think that might be obvious. And I try to explain my reasoning for all the moves that I make, but sometimes, I don't know, maybe I get distracted or I autopilot a little bit. And I forget to go through maybe some play that I made that made reason in my head, but you know, maybe for somebody chat it didn't. So I like this hand a lot, actually. Vapor Snag could be a thing. Yep. I love thongs. Okay. that's cool. Skin the life. Now that I have basics, I'm just going to try to hide this. Oh yeah, Delver of Secrets. Friends don't let friends play Delver of Secrets in Modern. Okay. Okay. Delver flipped. Oh man. That's really, really funny. That is very, very funny. So we get to play around Remand very nicely here. We do get got by Mana League, but we saw multiple Remands from my opponent's deck, and now... Like, maybe they have Mana League, maybe they have Cost, like, whatever, but... Yeah, I mean, this time they had the Mana League, but, like, I'd rather play around the card that I saw them play in the previous game, right? We saw them Remand me twice last game, so... That's annoying, though. That is quite annoying that they have been having exactly the card that they needed. Cavern of the Top. Cavern of the Top. Let's do it. Cavern of Souls. We just have to jam into the Archmage's Charm. Just have double vault. Alright. Yeah, the reason why I don't think that Delver is good in the format is because like we just saw how many cards my opponent needed to have in order to win this. Like if at any point we had had a Dismember, we just dismember the Delver or explosives or anything like that. Like there's just too many pieces, right? Too many things need to go well for my opponent. Otherwise, the deck just doesn't really work. Also, my opponent's Delver flipped on the first try both times. And they probably have like 20 cards to flip the Delver or something. That's very, very slow, very, very small, but somehow they just luck sucked into them. The sound is actually very interesting. Gracer is good against them, so is Amulet. I'm gonna keep this. They could show this. That's a 2-for-1, same with Force. We actually got to experience the Delver live like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where we had a dono list. Somehow we went 3-2. Yo, Spike, thank you so much for the raid. We're playing some Amulet here, of course, to the surprise of absolutely nobody. Playing against Delver in Modern, of course. How did the stream end up? Welcome everybody from Spike's stream. We're chilling here, we're chilling. It's nice that we get to reset the cavern there. Of course, the Delver doesn't flip because this is the Modern format where Delvers just don't flip. Classic Blue Red Delver matchup. Yeah, exactly. A tale as old as time. Grace are pretty good at. Got a Giant, setting up a Titan for next turn. So my opponent's gonna need to answer my Amulet, Blood Moon me, or have either Gust. Mana Leak is not gonna cut it. I think that they might have Blood Moon here though. Or maybe not. Alright. I guess that's the plan. Face you, hope you don't have it is the plan. So I could play this. The problem that I have with playing this is I'm making cards that are right now dead in my opponent's hand actually good. So they could have Vapor Snag, which is literally the only thing that I am afraid of right here. But I don't think that I can really play around Vapor Snag because we need to get ahead. So we're not gonna play around Vapor Snag. We might die here though. Like this card is really, it's really good. Spike would know. What happened with that deck, by the way? Spike, the Grixis Sprites deck. Felt pretty sweet. So let's do Radiant Fountain and let's get Tolaria West, I think. Is it worth taking Fountain? Yeah, 100%. We have no packs to pay for. I want to try to be the least dead that I can possibly be. In fact, there's an argument for not even playing this Amulet here, just to not give my opponent the chance to use one of their counter spells. Yeah, I think I'm just not gonna play it because they might have like Disrupting Shoulder Force or something like that, and that's one more point on the Sprite Dragon. Okay, so they need to spike a Lightning Bolt right now. They need to top deck exactly Lightning Bolt, and they're still 1 point short. Lofty Denial. My opponent had only 1 mana up, so Lofty Denial is 2 mana. Yep. There we go. 3-0. Let's go, baby. This is the list for those of you that just got here. Of course, you can always find the list if you do !deck. We're trying some new stuff. As you can see, like the list that we have going on here, we have the explosives for the shadow matchups. Where I'm also playing Dismember. I've seen a really big uptick in Heliod deck. The Heliod Scales deck has been seen a lot of play, and I don't think that it's a good matchup whatsoever. Like it's really bad for us. So Dismember I think is going to help a little bit there. This is my anti-combo section right here. We have Relic of Progenitors, which also is very good against all of the world decks. But Soul God Lantern is against the combo decks, Biting Needle against the combo decks, Belcher, etc. Gaia's Blessing against Mill, Tracker. I wish I had access to more slots for this card, but still, I don't think it's that good because like Omnath is just too much. Like it's just too much to handle, and they just overcome you so quickly. And finally, we have 2 Bailots because of the Shadow matchup. So like just casting a Bailot and gaining 4 can be really good against the this hand is perfect, by the way, against the Scourge. My opponent says they like the stream. Sweet. Thank you, opponent. This hand is amazing. My opponent might be playing Canisters deck. So like Saheeli with 4-color Saheeli with Omnath and stuff. You're gonna go from last Mono Streamer to longest tenured Mono Streamer. I don't even know what that means, but I hope it's something good. Oh. Well, we're dead now. We're dead. Like, so dead. You don't even know. So dead you don't even know it, chat. Well, this is what we got. What do you got, opponent? Tell me what you got. What? The 1 mana Explore? What? What is going on here? Chat, like, what? What? I guess that we can start an Explore. I'm just telling my phone, I have no idea what you're doing, but like I love it. Wow. Okay. What am I supposed to do with this? Like, am I supposed to go for it? We just run face first into Remand, and then we time walk out. We just time walk ourselves. I just don't know what to play around. I guess we just have to jam, right? I think I'm just gonna jam and hope that it works, but it's not very likely. It's probably not very likely to work out. We're just totally gonna get remanded here, aren't we? The good thing is that if we don't, oh, I guess that we're not getting remanded. Okay, sweet. What am I playing against? I have no idea. I'm telling my opponent, I don't know what you're doing, but 1 mana Explorer is exactly what I'm in the market for. Okay, so I imagine that Omnath is gonna be part of what's gonna be going on over there. Pact seems like a safe assumption. Relics? Soul Guide Lantern? I have no idea. Ghost Quarter seems really bad. what to do. Maybe cut Grazers? I expect my sideboarding to change a lot after this game, and after we learn a little bit more about my opponent's deck. I'm gonna go with this, but it might be completely just awful. So I'm trying to bring in like general answers, but I don't know what's gonna work and what isn't, so so turn 3 Dryad, turn 4 Titan, both of them uncounterable. It's probably something I'm in the market for. Okay, so apparently somebody wrote an article about this deck, and opponent is just playing it. We're 100% getting gusted, I imagine. Opponent this is gonna be joining on the. Deep breath. Remand resolves. Where's my ghost going now? Yeah, I know, right? We got debated. Uh-oh. 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 So now it's just Storm. Dark Saga, welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold. 11 months. Thank you for the continued support. So these are the 4 cards that we know. The good thing about my opponent, I guess that they're playing like a weird version of Storm. Grip Shot. Well, we can't trigger Valakut, which is brutal. We also cannot cast a Titan, which is also brutal. We cannot transmute for Bog. Okay, but we can transmute for Pact of Negation. We can transmute for Pact of Negation, so we're gonna do that. Covenant Giant. Blue. 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 Oops. Pact of Negation, say go. Obviously, if they kill our Dryad, we die, right? But I think I have to pact their red source here. If I pack this and my opponent doesn't have another red source, we get to pay for pact. Yeah, I think this is a line. And then we get to kill this with Valakut. I think that this gives me the best chance at winning this game. I think this is the best shot that we have at winning this game. We're gonna time warp ourselves, but we're gonna get to kill my opponent's Baral, which is our best route towards victory. Of course, if they remand themselves, that's even worse. That's even better for me, right? Remand what? Their own ritual? That's fine. Unless they find another red source off of the remand or the Baral trigger. But the good thing now is that we don't have to pay for our pact, right? You still die next turn? No, we have a Dryad in play, which fixes my mana. Happy to see others explain with bounce. And yeah, it seems interesting. Silun Division. I mean, next turn, what can I do? I have a Valakut that kills my opponent's Baral. I have to pay 5, but I kill my opponent's Baral because my Dryad survives. That's the line that I'm going for. I don't have to pay 5 if my pact gets countered. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what you're missing, Piero. Is the fact that if this gets countered, then we just win, because we just cast Titan. So they made a mistake. No. I think that their line was great. Because their line allows them to win that very turn. So my opponent's line was good. It's just that they didn't get there. And what they were trying to do is they were trying to spike a red source off of the top of their deck. If they find a red source, they win. Because they get to go off that turn. I don't think they made a mistake. I think that they were conscious about their line and they wanted to find an untapped red source off the top. And once they find the untapped red source, then they actually get to win on that very turn. So I think that their line was definitely correct. They had two looks. They have the look that they get from the remand, and they also have the look that they get from the Varal loot. So I think that my opponent's line was actually great there. I think that my opponent played it very well, but it just didn't work out for them. Hey, Terminal Justice, good games. Well played. Yeah, we were talking about your line there of kind of remanding the thing, but I explained to everybody that I imagine that you were looking for a red source to go off that very turn. Modernizing gift storms with double-faced cards. Okay, so that's what we're doing. That's an insane list, actually. That's pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. Terminated Justice. That's what I was assuming, and that's what I was explaining in chat. I think normal storm is better. I mean, I saw exactly 2 games with the deck, so I don't know. I couldn't know. I played it because it looked like horde garbage. We're playing against Storm again. This hand's bad though. This hand is okay. Does it play Jegantha just for the free card? I assume so, yeah. Red? What does that mean? Are we about to get Bloodmoon here? Maybe I shouldn't even be doing this. I like my opponent's choice in basics. You're 8-2 in league so far? That's sick. So this could be Niv. This could be like a multitude of decks here. Rain and 6, probably. If they ping Stacy, we get to try at them, which is cool. Yeah, if we draw Titan, we win. That's true. Okay, let's just F6 because my opponent is taking their time there. This could be Saheeli too. Wall of Blossoms. Titan off the top. Oh, I copy Castle over Force. I'm kind of scared of Bloodmoon. Yeah, it's like, do you want to be scared of Bloodmoon or do you want to be scared of something like what's the name? Yeah, the reason why I'm doing this now is because this means that now Tolerate West is going to be a good draw. We can Titan off of a T-West here. Easy. So I think this deck has Remand, if I'm not mistaken. Which would be very good here for obvious reasons. But it looks like they don't have it. So let's do Valakut and Battlements. Let's haste the Titan. Path. Hey, how's it going, Laplacian? Oh, I honestly was not expecting Path to Exile from them there. Because I missed some triggers, like I mis-sequenced. I actually fucked up there. Kinda badly. Kinda badly, yeah. Any land? Any land? Any land? Okay. We keep on playing. Yes, always yes, always yield. Because they just show the Saheeli off of the Oath of Nissa. If they have another Felida Guardian, they just win. They have another Felida Guardian. Wait, what? Just blink your land, dude. Yeah, I guess I got hasty here. I honestly thought that they would not have removal in the main deck. Obviously, that was a mistake. And I should have won that game. Pine Needle seems good. Dismember seems good. Rex Sage, not really. Explosive seems okay, but slow. Fog seems bad. They have a Ren, so I want to cut Stacy's. 4 paths to remand game 1. Yeah. What to do with that wealth? So much wealth. You have been watching people stream this deck? I imagine it's the list that Canister played on the weekend. Won the challenge with. But I didn't remember. Like I was kind of like having coffee in the morning and then I left, so I didn't remember that he was playing Path to Exiles. This hand does not do anything. This hand does some stuff, but it's really bad. Let's go to 5. Let's go to 4. This is a hand. So bottom, bottom, bottom. All right, we gotta draw into business here. At least they can't. They can't combo me out next turn. Saheeli. Okay, we just have to draw a Titan. Yeah, I played that. I am regretting so much about how I played that game 1. We should have won that game 1 pretty easily, actually. Might still be able to get away with murder right now if they just don't have it. It doesn't seem particularly likely. I mean, Titan off the top would be a really, really, really good spot for us. Yeah, no Titan. They also have another path to exile because they could have played the Saheeli there and they didn't. So they obviously have a Titan. So we're gonna die here. Yep, we just lose. Mull to 4. We still were in good shape there, honestly. we just find a Titan off the top. We actually get to win from there, but no 5-0. Feels bad. I threw away that game 1 so badly. Yeah, we're never finding a Titan. Anyway, I mean, still 2 back-to-back for once feels pretty solid. It's weird how the meta is changing so quickly. Like 2 weeks ago, I didn't want to even close to this member, and right now I have 2 copies, and I kind of want to have access to more. And I'm already thinking again about splashing black for Bloodthirst, Blood. God damn it! What's the name of the card? Thirst. That one. This card. Blood Chief's Thirst. Yeah, this is the card that I was thinking about. Path might just be better though. So. Oh yeah, JV Frick. Thank you for the follow there. Yeah, GG's. I threw away I threw away game one. I didn't remember. I was watching Canister over the weekend, but I was kind of like watching just a little bit. I wasn't really paying attention, and I totally forgot that whether he had paths in the main deck. I thought that he might only have them in the board, but if I had played around Path to Exile there, I think that we might have been able to win pretty easily. But I didn't. I just went for it, and we got rightfully punished. Yeah, I should have slowed down, and I should have thought about the potential cards that you could have in your hand. But yeah, game two, I just have no shot. Like I mean, I think that I was fine if I had found the Titan on the one of my last two draw steps, but when I didn't, it was the lack of cards really was felt. This list seems fine, honestly. Like I didn't really dislike this list whatsoever. Like House came in here earlier saying that he was super low on Amulet, and I'm just like, I mean, why? We were doing fine. Like it's just Amulet, right? Like we just were facing bad matchups, and we still somehow managed to get there. Like we played against Storm, we played against the Heliod deck, and we still managed to steal some wins. So it's still Amulet, right? It's just what Amulet does. Is the fourth turn Temur a consideration? Yes, but I think that if you cut that, you probably have to cut the Crumbling Vestige, which I have been liking a lot. So you could cut the Vestige for the fourth turn Timber. Maybe it's something that I'm going to be trying out. I'm going to be trying out next. Just going to the full 4 copies of Turn Timber. This card is quite good. This card is quite powerful. I'm pretty high on it, honestly. But yeah, the sideboard might also be a little bit outdated. Maybe I shouldn't have this card anymore. Like, what's going on with the combo decks? I feel like the Oops All Spells decks are very good. Am I in the wrong here? Am I in the wrong in thinking that the Oops All Spells decks are actually kind of busted? Because I have felt that since the deck. Yeah, like it just disappeared for the format, and I wonder why. Every time I played against that deck, I'm like, this is insane. Like I can never beat this deck, and I would sideboard cards, and I would try to, try to like position myself against the deck in such a way that I could have a shot, and it just wouldn't matter. So I am definitely a little bit interested in seeing why people are moving away from them. How is its Death Shadow matchup? The Oops deck. Doomwake was saying that the Oops deck is just really good against Shadow. Like that's the whole point why he was splashing white. Like the whole point of splashing white in his Shadow list was precisely to have a shot against the Oops decks. Once you have cyber cards, it's easy to kill them. That has not been my experience. Like I have had access to like all of these sideboard cards and more, and I still would die to the Oops All Spells because they are too fast, or because they just go and they just cast a Belcher and I die. So like you have to tackle them on so many axes. The only card that matters in game one, I thought is yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, why do you think that happened, Doomway? Like, what's your analysis on that? Because I have literally not been playing against the deck whatsoever. Neither that one nor Belcher. But I saw that you were playing a little bit of Oops and you were playing a little bit of Belcher. But I saw you doing really well with Belcher, so that's even more perplexing to me. Are people just like lazy and they just don't want to work on those decks because they seem kind of weird to put together? It's so that's my point. It was not. Like I've played against the Oops deck and I have had like 2 or 3 hate pieces and they won anyway, just easy. It was kind of insane. Can't imagine it's fun to pilot, though they are splitting the decks with a similar fun. Yeah, exactly. Like, it has to be more fun than Boggles. It has to be more fun than Tron, and yet people play those decks. So I don't think that fun is a factor. Team Betches consider was the Balustrade Spy deck. I don't know. And my whole thing about the Belcher decks, I think that they are really, really, really underexplored so far. I feel like the Balustrade Spy deck has a little bit less room to wiggle with, but I think that people have not explored Belcher as much as they should have. Like, you have access to Veil of Summer, you can play your own Pact of Negations, you can... I don't know. Whatever. And, like, being soft to Force of Negation seems like a pretty bad argument, because, like, in the entire format, maybe, like, 15% of the format plays Force of Negation. And in fact, all of the sub decks are playing a lot less counter magic right now. So that seems like an even more of a reason to want to do that. So I don't know. Like, it's definitely not my cup of tea. So I'm not gonna be the one breaking any of those decks. But it seems like there's a pretty missed opportunity in there. Like, if you just give up. Even, let's say that the Force of Negation matchups are just unfixable, right? You just give up 15% of the metagame, you still are so much faster than the rest of the 85%. You're faster than them, you're resilient, and you don't, like, you don't really fall to that much hate. Like, look at how many hate pieces I need to be playing just to not die on turn 2. These are not even cards that win the game, they're just cards that make it so I don't die. Then I still need to win. But if I want to play a game instead of just losing, I have to be playing all of these cards. The thing with Oops is it loses to its penalty of time and falls to a lot of cards like Thoughts and Grave Hate. And the kill is really messy. There's a lot of do nothing in the deck that don't help you towards your win but are needed for the kill. Yeah, I don't know. It still seems like I should give it the respect, but maybe I'm just like over respecting those decks. Because, like, I played 2 leagues and I didn't bring in Soul Guide Lantern in a single matchup. I mean, the same I guess could be said for Gaia's Blessing, but this is a different story, right? Like, it's not like having access to Soul Guide Lantern means that I just win. Having access to Gaia's Blessing means that unless you're very, very unlucky and you naturally draw your blessing, you kind of just win against Mill. And Soul Guide Lantern is just not that. Like, it just gives you a shot against the combo decks. 2 leagues isn't really enough of a sample. I agree with that. But, like, I have not played against the Oops deck in, like, 2 weeks now. But I still have all of these hate cards in my sideboard. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Tormod isn't better than Soul Guide Lantern. Well, you kind of would bring Soul Guide Lantern against the blue soup decks, right? So that's why I'm going with Soul Guide Lantern. Like, Tormods is cool, yeah. You can transmit for Stormods and everything, but Tormods is a lot more narrow. And Stormod doesn't get around Leyline, that's also true. Yeah. Anyway, I just think that Amulet is fine. Amulet is just fine. Like, you can still play Amulet and it's gonna be okay. Like, you're gonna do some winning. That's what we did today, right? Like, we just loved playing for the 5-0. So, like, it's just fine. And it's fun. Like, this deck is like, it's a lot less fun than what it used to be like 3 years ago, obviously, but it's still fun. I still have a good time every time I get to stream this deck. Lately, I've been enjoying the Reclaimer deck a lot more in terms of, like, actual just the gameplay of it, besides just the competitivity. Is that even a word? I think that's a word. But yeah, but this deck is just perfect. It's just a fine deck that you can play. You can do a lot of winning with which is something that makes me happy to see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate you checking out the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.